Hello everyone on YouTube. This is my Doctor Who shelf, and I'm gonna just be taking you through it part by part, show you what's in it. So we have the Lost in Time box set. This is good. It's got all surviving episodes of the William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton stories. Definitely a good buy. An Unearthly Child, the first story ever. Very excellent story, very creepy, very eerie. The Daleks. Fantastic opener for the Daleks. One episode too long, I'd say, but that's my opinion. If I can get it out. The Edge of Destruction, brilliant two-parter. It's definitely underrated. Like the first story, this is very eerie, very creepy, mysterious. Dalek Invasion of Earth. I prefer the movie that they made on this later, but this is still a good story. Can drag a bit, but the Web Planet. Everyone picks on the Web Planet. It's a good story. I don't care what anyone says. It is a good story. They tried their best, and it pulled off. It pulled off for me very well. It's good. The Space Museum, part one of this, is fantastic. The rest, not so much, but hey, it's still entertaining. The Chase, the third Dalek story. A bit of a bad storyline, but hey, it's Ian and Barbara's departure is really nice and sentimental, and it's filled with monsters and Daleks, which is good. Tomb of the Cybermen, a great Patrick Troughton story, one of my favourite Patrick Troughton stories, and my first Patrick Troughton DVD. It definitely lives up to its reputation, I'll give you that. The Invasion, 8-part Cyberman story. Obviously episodes 1 and 4, which are missing from the archives, have been reanimated onto this. It's good, nice introduction of Unit with the Brigadier, but it's definitely about 4 episodes too long, or maybe 2, but it's too long. Seeds of Death, this is a 6-part Ice Warriors story. I don't remember much of it. I have watched it, but maybe it wasn't too memorable, but it's Patrick Troughton, so you can't go wrong. Oh, Christ. Falling over. Day of the Daleks, brilliant story, 4 parts. The special edition is fantastic with the added special effects. Dalek voices, which in the original were really terrible, so it's really good. 3 Doctors, this is for the 10th anniversary celebration. This is my first ever Doctor Who DVD, got around 2005. Obviously at this point William Hartnell was very ill, he only could do cameos, had to read his lines off cue cards, but it was very, it stood out to me, and it stuck in my head ever since, so it's really good. Carnival of Monsters, structured brilliantly by the fantastic writer that is Robert Holmes, true Doctor Who legend. Sontaran Experiment, 2-parter. Now we all know this is mainly one of the fillers for between the Ark in Space and Revenge of the Cybermen, but it's entertaining, nice Sontaran story. Genesis of the Daleks. Before I go on, this has one of my favourite documentaries on it, the Dalek Tapes, which is really good. And this says, voted by Doctor Who magazine readers, Doctor Who #1 story ever. Now, I've had this DVD since about 2006, and that's changed. It is now The Caves of Androzani, but Genesis is still in the top 10. Revenge of the Cybermen. This is one I always wanted to watch when I was a kid, reading about it in books, and it didn't live up massively to the hype I expected, but it's a good story. I don't know why people hate on this so much. The only thing I don't like is the emotion-filled cyber leader. It's weird. Planet of Evil. I can't describe it. Fantastic set design. It's the best in the classic series, in my opinion. It's just utterly brilliant, and the acting's superb. It's a neat little story. Hand of Fear, Sarah Jane Smith's final classic story. She steals the show in this. It's brilliant, apart from when they move to the planet in the 4th episode. But, yeah, it's great. Destiny of the Daleks, another great Dalek story, one I've wanted to see for a long time. And yes, the Daleks are tatty, and yes, it can drag a bit, but it's good. I don't care about that. It's all good. It's Daleks. It's what we want. Keeper of Traken. Not the most interesting 4-part in my opinion, but Tom Baker's brilliant, as always, but nah, definitely not his best. Logopolis, the perfect end to the 4th Doctor era, symbolises change into the 80s, as well as his regeneration, which is beautifully handled by Tom. It's a great story all round. Castrovalva, Peter Davison's opener. Yeah, I like it, but the first two episodes set in the TARDIS are really great. When it moves into Castrovalva, for me, it goes downhill. Don't even know why it's called Castrovalva, considering only half the story takes place there. Earthshock, obviously this is a, phenomenal one. One of the best stories ever, candidate for the best Cyberman story ever. Adric's death, obviously, is monumental, and it stood out to me watching it. It's truly a unique piece. It could have been a film. There. The King's Demons. Now, this is considered one of the worst Doctor Who stories of all time. And it's not that good, being 2 parts. Doesn't fill much of it, but I like it. It's entertaining, but they should have chosen something else to fill the end of the 20th season. Not worthy. 5 Doctors, the original release. This is the second Doctor Who DVD I got, after the 3 Doctors given to me in Lapland by all people Santa. And yes, Santa is real. I will retain that fact till the day I die. When I first watched it, I was a bit disappointed at the lack of monster appearances in general. But Richard Herndl is brilliant as the first Doctor, and the whole cast itself is fantastic, so it's really good. Resurrection of the Daleks, one of my favourite Dalek stories. Gritty, violent, dark, lots of Dalek action, lots of killing, and that may sound bad, but that's what Dalek's about. It's about death. Planet of Fire, and no wonder they released this as a... See, it's 2 discs there. No wonder they released this in a movie edition, because it truly deserved it. Production values were high. Acting was great. It was just good all round. Sorry for my pausing, I can hear voices. Pretty freaky. Anyhow. Sorry about that. Caves on Androzani, which is the #1 Doctor Who story ever, as voted by you guys, or the DWM readers. Yeah, worthy. Just watch it, get it, watch it. Even if you don't like Doctor Who, watch it. It's great. Everything's fantastic. Attack of the Cybermen. I always wanted to see this when I was a kid, just because of Lytton's hands getting crushed. That is sounding sadistic, but it's just violent, and I like the violence in Doctor Who. I think it's good. Shame there's not much of it in the show today. Mark of the Rani. Not the best story, not the best Colin Baker story by far. But I like Colin Baker's stories in general, but it's definitely not my favourite. 2 Doctors, fantastic. Sontaran's in it. There you go. Patrick Troughton reprising his role as the 2nd Doctor with Fraser Hines as Jamie. It's just standard Doctor Who, but it's great. Revelation of the Daleks, like Resurrection. This is gritty, violent, dark, and it's candidate for my favourite Colin Baker story. It's just fantastic. Again, could have been a movie. Now going on to the Trial series, Trial of a Time Lord parts 1 to 4, The Mysterious Planet. Not the best 4-parter, but hey, got the ball rolling. 5 to 8, Mind Warp. Now this is my favourite Colin Baker story. It's just, again, the darkness, the grittiness, Perry's death at the end, and Brian Blessed! It's just, and Sill's in it, and I like Sill, and it's a brilliant story, best part of the Trial series by far. Parts 9 to 12, Terror of the Vervoids. Just standard Doctor Who, really. Typical Monster Whodunit format. I hear they're releasing an audio detailing the origins of Mel, so that'll be interesting. Trial of a Time Lord 13 to 14, The Ultimate Foe. Yes, the ending is rushed, it's confusing. Obviously this is not intentional. Robert Holmes, the writer, legend, RIP, sadly passed away while writing it, so it had to be rushed. It had to be finished rather quickly. But it's not the best ending. It could have been, obviously, but it's still good. Part 13 is good, at least. Time in the Rani. Sylvester McCoy's opener. A lot of people hate on this. It's one of the worst stories according to the list, but I really like it. It's a great opener. Revives the series after the trial, I think, but Sylvester McCoy just shines in it. Remembrance of the Daleks. This is my first Sylvester McCoy story. One of the best Dalek stories. It's when Sylvester McCoy comes into his own as the Doctor, and the Daleks are great. Finally conquering stairs. Silver Nemesis. It's a good 3-part with the Cybermen, but it shouldn't have been what represented the 25th anniversary. Not in my opinion. It should have been Remembrance of the Daleks. I don't know, it doesn't signify it, I don't think. Obviously, Silver Nemesis is a play on words, but nah, it just couldn't have been. Right. It's coming on to 10 minutes, so I have to turn this off, but I will be back with part 2, so see you all shortly.